By the way,
Yeah, we're
we're
going to
live.
do it for real. Hi,
We're
everyone.
live. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? We've just been talking, we do that. Welcome everybody, Boston.
Bosco
Yes, I like
to
that.
all.
And I know there are some amongst us who have a different point of view, but that's cool.
Yeah.
We are all on. I have become a favor to everyone. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Get that out there. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, all you moderators, you groovy people. There's Miss Franny, and man, just a number of them. Thank you. So, yeah, it's an illusion. It is. It's the whole freaking realm is an illusion. And having said that, because y'all don't know what we were talking about, we'll bring you in on the conversation. But the illusion is that once you realize it's an illusion, you
Mhm.
have to determine it's that paradox. And there was, I think it was an Outer Limits that did it. I'm not sure a Twilight Zone did it, but the guy was dreaming,
Mhm.
and then he woke up realizing he was still dreaming,
Mhm.
and he couldn't wake up.
Mhm.
Every time he woke up, he was in another dream.
Yep.
I wonder if that's how it is.
I kind of had that experience. That's why I connected so much to the fractals
Mm-hmm.
because I started having dreams and I was in these different realities, but they were so similar to this reality. It was really weird, but I could tell it was different. And that was happening for a while. And yeah, I'm pretty sure those are other realities existing. And now science is confirming this with quantum and string theory and all these different quantum concepts are validating that these potentials are probably accurate.
Well, and I when I always hear that, and when we talk about that, um, something that I was very much, I come out of the tech industry,
Mhm.
and when D Wave and when Jordy Rose, and it was actually at one of their shareholders meeting,
Mhm.
was up there and said when they turned the quantum, the D Wave computer on,
Mhm.
um, he said, and it's quoted out there, they had it on their website for the longest time, that
Mhm.
he said it was like kneeling before an alien god.
Yeah.
He said what they brought in um, changed everything.
Yeah.
And there is a theory that says when they turned on the first D Wave, the first true quantum computer, and
Mhm.
it, I don't know if everyone knows this, but it's called the God chip. That's my acronym for it.
Wow.
Trina, it's literally in a black cube,
Yeah.
and you walk inside, and it's like an altar, literally, where this cube sits. They then encase the cube. You have no, you can't be in there. If you're in there, you're dead.
Mhm.
They bring the temperature down to, I believe it's minus 437 degrees, almost absolute zero. And when that happens, something happens on the quantum level. It generates its own quantum universe.
Yeah. Consciousness
Yeah.
replicating from the original. Yeah.
And on their website, and you can do in the archives, they also said, which really, it's so weird we're having this conversation, that their computer went into another reality, another dimension, and brought substance back
Yeah.
into this dimension.
It's the same. We as humans can do that. We can do that too already organically. It's when you quantum jump. So you can go into one of your other timelines, realities, and see what gifts you mastered in that reality, or you can specifically seek after an ability, talent, or gift that you have previously mastered, and you can quantumly jump into that reality and you can bring back the mastery of those abilities. So
Well,
this,
this is actual substance. This is not anything to do with humans. We don't
yeah,
have the
physical
ability.
substance. Yeah.
And here's the problem. If they in fact did that, then it brings in the whole annihilation theory that
Mhm.
something has to happen when you bring in substance that is not of one dimension into another dimension.
Mhm.
If the laws of causality, cause and
Mhm.
effect, hold true in other dimensions as it does here, then you've brought an alien substance.
Yeah.
And if substance is what we would quantify in the physical realm as consciousness, because I dare say that if you don't have a cranium with the gray matter up there, which we call brains, you won't have substance to have consciousness here. That gets a little deep, I know.
I think you're right.
It's deep, I know.
Yeah.
It gets into that question. Then what quantifies consciousness?
That's the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Ultimate question.
You know,
And with Wayne, I've seen, like I said, we're three deep within conscious stratas. Three deep. We're in three deep.
okay. Yeah, I
So
can see that.
yeah, so it's I think the whole Ouroboros, this solar system is like level one.
Well, and it is our theme today. The fact is time.
Yes, and this is in level one. Hmm.
When you come to the reality, and I had in my visits, I have discussions on this, and
Hmm.
here's the discussion that I'll let you know that I was having with, there's a lot of consciousnesses out there. You just have to connect to them.
Yep.
Time. Time is an illusion that we buy into because why? We're taught time literally from the almost the second we go through the rite of birth passage. And it is a perception that once you accept it as a collective consciousness, it becomes a reality. Now, people will say, but Wayne, decay is a part of this. No, I get decay,
Hmm.
but decay is not time.
Correct.
That decay is a breaking down. Now you can say, Trina, that well, I want to measure how something is broken down, how long it takes. Well, then what foundation are you using time for?
Hmm.
In astrology, time becomes very important. The minute you're born into this realm, right? How
Hmm.
many planets you have in certain houses,
Hmm.
and the date of your birth becomes basically where everything starts from zero, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if that's the case, and this is literally, folks, this is the discussion I had. Um, then what are we using that? Well, we're using Earth time
Hmm.
because we base everything on Earth and how much time it takes to go around our sun,
Hmm.
our SON.
Hmm.
No, I mean SON.
Hmm.
All right. So now here's the quandary. So if time is relevant here in Earth time, and
Hmm.
I'm using, for instance, the sun as my basis for time, boom, boom, going around, then what does the sun use for its time?
The great central sun.
But now we're talking about a different time.
Yeah, and I think there are layers. I literally see layers.
Now you're starting, you know what I did? I did do a PowerPoint. And, I always do this because I love this subject because it really comes into relevancy of what we're dealing with, I think, when the soul passes. I think of our friend Brian. So
Yeah.
this is how we're taught time, Trina. Past, future, and time is linear and only goes one direction.
Uh-huh.
This is the construct that we're in. But actually time is non-linear
Nope.
in its aspect, because this is actually time.
Yeah, and if you loop those, it makes a flower.
I could see that.
And that's the petals of creation, the different realities that come out of the petals like a lotus. It's energetically created through that central point, spiraling out of it into different loops. That's how
And
I see it.
cool. Cool. I mean, it's highly interpretive to, I think, the individual's resonance and what they're seeing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is how time travel is possible. The past has no future. The future has no past.
Mm-hmm.
The past and future are the same.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, our cognitive resonance that we measure by our reality tells us that, well, my memories are the past. No, they're just your memories.
Yes.
Time has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
Does this make sense?
Yes. It's about experience, and we're measuring. We put time into place so we can measure an experience, because this is a game and it has a start and an end. And that's why. But the real you that's operating your body from above, from a remote location, apparently, that's not touched by time.
Now
If,
factor in anti-time.
yes. Oh, God. There we go. Oh, boy. There we go.
Because here is the hardcore science reality of this, spiritually, every way you want to look at it. If we measure our our cosine, our essence,
Uh-huh.
by what we call these incarnations, then that tells me we're using something as the measurement, and it's time. This case, it seems like time is only one dimensional, going one direction. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if that is true, and that's what all religions, all philosophies are based upon, why don't we ever hear about anti-time?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have matter, and we've proven there's antimatter,
Yep.
then tell me what anti-time is.
That, see, and this is where I see those invisible, the invisible realms, the invisible God, the all the things that you cannot see. Those would be the anti-time, anti-matter. They're in a completely different construct.
Yeah, and then
Completely different laws, completely different rules, completely
bingo.
different everything. It's completely the opposite of this.
Which would mean no time, but
Yeah.
actually, if we say that there's no time, then that forms another layer, which would be your third layer of what we would call non-time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't, if we go by the idiom, as above, so below, as within, so without,
Mm-hmm.
then our reality is then been completely altered by our current belief system, because it says that in the path, let's say this is the path of ascension. Is the path of ascension to go through anti-time and then to a place of non-time? I love it
I
when you think.
still
I can see your
Yeah,
yeah.
I still see those within the polarity, but once you can break out of that dualistic construct, you can get into a different, into no time, no anti. It's so hard to put into
It
words.
is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, gosh, there's just, oh, where are the words for all of this? It's the antithesis of all that exists that we can see. So in the invisible, it's completely, it's without form, there's no error. There's no error codes within the internal technology. See, I see time, linear time, third dimensional earth reality based on internal technology that was placed into the physical body construct. And it is directly linked to Saturn. So like I said, these
That's
solar
interesting.
bodies, they literally control our solar body as our physical bodies. So these planetary bodies are the macro of what you're operating on through your internal technology, through this solar system, solar construct, and all of it is being directed
Solar
through the sun.
plexus.
Yes, and it's all coming through the sun. So when you got to understand this is an energy system, these planets control your internal technology. This is how you have the connection to the 12 disciples, the 24 elders of God, all the angels, all of this is through these solar templates that you've adopted in your physical body. And time is one of those constructs from the internal technology, the IT.
Well, and this, when I was putting this together, you and I hadn't even talked, but so I think this begins to explain how you were talking about being able to, because time travel would in fact be feasible if we look at time as a linear projection.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that if we look at the fact that we live in a 3D dimension, right? Time would be the fourth dimension.
Yes. Yes.
So in essence, we're actually living in the fourth dimension as we speak.
Actually, I think time is actually coming from 5D or above because it's one of the higher matrices that we bring in to operate in a third dimensional reality. Time is like you said, it's so important down to the time of moment of your birth. All these things are critical in this realm. So yeah.
Trina, what if time's a god?
It is Saturn.
I mean, now
in
that's
this
interesting.
construct, right? But
Yeah.
then that's like
Yeah.
I said, that's a fractal. We got to remember, we got to get our brains to go so much bigger because, like, Saturn would be a fractal of time, expressing in a third dimensional realm. So when you got to identify, time is most probably coming from Saturn. That's why he was called Father Time.
Then time is what you could almost say is in the realm that we don't see that actually dominates this realm.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, folks,
the clock is coming from the template of time itself through Saturn. Saturn is resonating a specific vibration to hold us into a certain frequency of time. That's why we can jump timelines when we shift vibration because the clock has to match the vibrational rate. It's amazing what I see. It's so hard to put into words. But yeah, so if we can send lots of love to Saturn and shift the vibration of what we want to see, we can probably change time. That's how we move timelines.
There's another belief. In fact, I have it. The book is called The Rites of Saturn, is actually where they say Yahweh is hiding out at. But
that's what I think. I think that could be right.
So, yeah. So, the whole thing is that time is illusion. Now that gets into a whole different discussion because let me just get out of here. Here's the thing. Our customs here, they enslave us because we've incorporated these customs. For instance, Saturn, in this book I have, it's an interesting read because it is where Yahweh got, basically when Yahweh left here, he was chased out. And so, but this is what they left with. So, I'm married. So the wedding ring is actually the ring of Saturn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonding two energies into a covenant.
And isn't it on the finger that represents air? That's spirit. So it's controlling the spirit. It's locking you into a time matrix. It's locking you into the contracts of the mayor of, it's legal. Time locks into legal contracts. That's why it's the foundation of this matrix that we're in right now.
How could I see? This is where folks, this is why I love this show, because we're talking contracts here now, because it leads me to believe then I had to make some sort of contractual agreement before I came into this realm. in order, and probably was that I had to recognize that time is a god. Now, we never worship it as a personification, but every god would be subservient to time in this realm.
Yes.
Isn't that
Wait.
what all prophecy is based on? Time?
Yes. And the script. There is a script, and
Yeah.
we knew the basic script of what we would be experiencing on the planet before we entered into it. That's why I said many of us are here right now to change timeline.
Ooh.
This is
I,
why we're here. Yes.
I wonder if we're here to. All right, so I wrote this down.
Bosto is how it's done. Bosto,
Yeah.
how it is done. Acts of kindness, doing what you can to serve. That is the key, because it's taking us away from selfish into selfless. And when you get into selfless energy, it connects you to the whole, the tree, the thee. And this is where the power and unity truly is expressed. So focus on healing the water. Send profound love to the dolphins and the whales, because they literally, guys, when we get quarantined, you know, the dolphins were coming up to the beach begging the humans to come back into the water. We need to really connect and shift the vibration and send gratitude and healing and surround these animals with immense love, because they're part of our consciousness and they are in the waters. So there's so much we can do. And it's like anything you can see or you feel or you're drawn to, just go with that. It's like we're all doing it differently, and that's what's needed. That's the most important part.
Tony says, and I like this, she said, the ring finger is connected to the sun, the soul, the solar plexus. The middle finger is Saturn. And
fire.
yeah,
Fire.
I forgot about that. And
Yeah,
isn't it odd that the Abrahamic religions, their holy day is Saturday,
of course.
and that's Saturn's day?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get back and continue to focus in on this whole thing now, that if you suddenly become aware that you are inadvertently, even subconsciously worshiping something called time. Listen, the makeup industry for women, now men, is nearly $1 trillion industry. Why? Because we as creatures perceive decay as old, old being therefore time of what?
Death.
I mean, is youth then define what youth is? Well, I'm going to define what I was in my 20s. Now, you see, Wayne, that shows that I can look back in time. No, you don't, darling. That's just telling me you have a memory of what you already lived. Well, Trina, then that brings into the whole thing. We live and die each cycle, 24 hours. Otherwise, how would we decay?
We do. You know, it's I've seen people reverse aging. I've seen it. I've seen people advance their aging. I've seen, and it is based on consciousness. So it seems to me that the consciousness God overrides the time God. So that's just
interesting.
It's what I've seen. So until I can be proven to me otherwise, but most people believe in time.
Yes,
and we're the collective consciousness is in agreement with this whole time thing. So it's going to manifest here because it's collectively in agreement. Everybody's agreeing to it. So, but the conscious God, the consciousness part of creation God thing, it can override time like that.
See, it has to be above time, because if there is such a thing as, I call the infinite being, we can call it the creator, whatever.
Right.
How would it be subservient to such a construct of time?
It created the wheel that time rotates upon. So with that, it's
still above it.
It's above it. It made it. It made time. So
the conversation I was having with one or more, whoever they were. And this was what I was doing in meditation. So now, then we have to carry this because the implications are direct. We're talking everything so forth on the third dimension density.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking everything in the density of body, matter.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that there is a transmutation of some kind at physical death.
Mm-hmm.
Then the question I have, and what we'll ask for the audience as well, is that, okay, so is my spirit or all spirits tied to this time God?
If you're here, yeah.
But no, I mean, you've died now. Your spirit is departing.
If you
So
believe that you are of this world and that this God is your creator, then yeah, you're giving that God of time, Saturn, authority to keep you in the wheel of reincarnation. Wheel, it's associated to the Lord and God of time.
So my whole point is, I wrote this down, by the way, Trina.
Mhm.
Time does not exist. It is a trap. Serpent consuming its tail.
Bingo.
Without time, I was automatic writing this.
Awesome.
Without time, there is no beginning nor ending.
Yeah.
Time on Earth is of a different substance than that of the other planets, whether it be the sun, Venus, Mars,
Yeah.
other side of the galaxy.
Yeah.
This also holds true to the individual, get this, the individual energy that is brought forth. Let us say they come in two on the exact same date, but one is in New York and one is in Honolulu, Hawaii. They
Yes.
live a life exactly the same dates, and they die with each one on the very same moment in New York City and in Honolulu.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yep.
they die at the exact same time? No, they did not.
Yep.
One died at Eastern time, one died in Hawaii time.
Yes. One died in the moon and one died under the sun.
You see, it gets real interesting when you break it down that, and that's what they
Yeah.
told me. If
Yeah.
you can get it into your deep into you when you pass over, your challenge will be to say no, because now I challenge you to show me time.
Yeah. It's yeah. Anything they can do to capture and hold your energy and your spark into a slave system will be very hard. They're going to try really hard. They want your essence, and your essence is that of source. So they want what you hold. So y'all got to remember. I mean, you pass away, you might see some magnificent, beautiful beings of light coming to rein you in. Use caution, discernment, trust your power of you, and understand that typically anything that shows up in front of you is projecting from you.
There's a lot of truth that, and you were talking about Saturn. Over on, I have to think of the YouTube channel, the Alien Sky. They go back to a time in our records where whoever they were, I don't know if they were even our ancestors, they were here, where Saturn was the Earth's sun.
Yes.
And it was called the Golden Age because the light coming off Saturn was of a golden light.
I think this was the merging of when Lemuria and Atlantean. This is all of that transitional time. It was a new age again, a new sun. So
New
we're
type
going
of
into
life.
and we're going into a new age and potentially with a new sun. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
cycles
it's,
or cycles because we're in Saturn's rings. We're in the rings of time on the third dimensional Earth realm existence.
people are
So
digging the conversation. Can you see the chat room, Trina?
No, it's
Oh
just
man,
so
you're
hard.
missing it.
I'm trying to hear, my
Yeah,
spirit
I know
guides and
it.
focus on
Oh,
you.
it's
And
like,
and
man,
Wayne,
people was
you
like,
drive the
oh.
bus. You listen. You can multitask really well.
But this, so I got some new books. Literally, can I show you something?
Yeah.
So, uh, let me go to here. Hold on one second. Uh, Hold on a second. I don't want to do that. Let me cancel that. I'm driving the bus, but I
You
know where
are.
I'm at.
You're
I
good.
know where I'm at. I mean, so that helps a little bit. So yesterday was a weird day for the sky. I kid you not. So everyone knows what sundogs are, I would think.
Yep.
So, but yesterday, you typically will see them usually in the afternoons. You'll sometimes, but when it's in the mid summer here. But so this point came up yesterday. It was very odd to see the, um, if you want to call that a sundog, but it was.
Wayne, we see those in Arizona, like daily, and there's one on each side of the sun, those little tiny rainbows.
Oh,
We have been
yeah.
seeing those for a while. What is that?
Well, it's supposed to be mostly in the winter times, because it's the sun's lower in the sky. But, in this case, you can see that sun's rising directly up from the northeast on this case. So
Wow.
just odd. And then I had something very interesting happen. There it's very defined. And I thought, well, that's odd. So get this. This is the thunderstorms coming off of the mountain. Now the wind, you can see how the rain is falling.
Yep.
What the hell is this?
Right. Those beams. Wow.
Yeah. My wife and I were out there going, now that is weird.
Whoa.
And you can see that now there's two beams
Yeah.
very clearly.
Wow.
Very
That's,
clearly there you can see they're going all the way up, baby.
yeah, that is very interesting.
Yeah, and particularly because it's
Wow.
not even the direction of the sun. The sun is setting.
That's what I mean. It's
It's
going
like,
the opposite from
it's
everything
like,
else. Yeah,
what
that's
the freak is going on here, But
whoa. That is
yeah.
very interesting.
So before I came in,
Oh.
I got a book delivery. This bird flew in and started singing to me. Uh,
Oh.
Watch this. Let me see if I can get this. Didn't get it. She was singing, but look at how she just blinks, and just.
Oh, so pretty.
So, how often do you actually have a wild bird just come in and sit right down? I mean, she wasn't like afraid of me at all. There she is right there. I said, pose. I was speaking favor over her, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wayne, I had a
yeah.
hummingbird a few weeks ago. Literally wouldn't it, I kept putting it back in the tree and it kept flying back on my shoulder and it made me hold it. And
Really?
it like fell into a hummingbird feed or something and the sugar water dumped on it. It was a little sticky. So I took it to the fountain and I rinsed it off and gave it a little bath and I was holding it and then I'd put it back up in the tree and it would fly back on me again. The last time it flew on my nose. I was like, oh my God.
Now, what's that up? What's up
Well,
about that?
I have never had that happen before.
No,
Ever,
I
ever,
mean,
not like that. That was off the hook. Yeah.
how
Yeah, I
interesting.
took a picture of it. It's on one of my videos. I used it as a thumbnail where I'm holding the hummingbird.
Janice Frake says, I have birds come to me daily. Well, cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, isn't that interesting?
Uncle Nick used to walk out in the forest and the deers would come out of the forest. They'd walk right up to him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hummingbirds, and it's odd that you mention it because there was a hummingbird the other day, and so I don't know. Is that normal? Bernadette Moore says they sing to me daily. Yeah, I can see
I
that.
don't think I don't think it's normal. I think it's more of a sign of the new shift, the new energy that's coming on Earth. In the golden age, we communicate with the animals, and the animals, they don't fear us. And somehow
True.
the cycles of nature change too. Like there's not as much violence within nature itself. It's a very a beautiful thing that I see happening. And I see animals too expressing colors, lots of colors. So I saw that this would be part of the new age, as we would like see fish that had rainbow colors. And we're seeing pink dolphins and pink elephants, and we're seeing colors start to manifest, you know, because we used to see the white, but now we're seeing pink and baby blue. So animals are manifesting new colors. I saw this as part of the new energy too. So I think this is literally, we're going through a change of solar information, new light, maybe a new sun. I don't know. It's profound.
Well, think about this. So everyone's always, I had this Smithsonian, was a client of mine for a number of years. Everyone loves to go see the dinosaurs.
Mhm.
But what that directly shows that Earth could not be the same Earth today.
Yes. Yes. The oxygen levels were different. The
Had to
system
be.
was different. Yeah, everything was, it was, and like right
Gravity
now,
had to have been different.
yes, everything grows different. It's all about how much oxygen is on the planet. I literally think, and then the magnetic field. The weaker the magnetic field is the weaker that we get as a species. The stronger it is, the stronger the bones are, the bigger the trees grow. It's like a magnetic situation. So, and you know, the weakening of the magnetosphere with a solar minimum would explain why everything is breaking down, and why immune systems are struggling, and you know, physical people are getting sicker, and you know, then we're getting poisoned on top of it. But you know, it all kind of makes sense when you look at what's happening with the sun.
I'm listen, I have it implies that it could not have been the same Earth
Oh,
then. There, I mean, we're talking about gargantuans that
yes.
ruled. And if man, now in the book of Enoch, in fact, I believe it, when it talks, I think it's in the 3rd chapter, in fact, it talks about the Nephilim, and it says that the Nephilim were 3,000 cubits high.
Yeah.
You know how tall that is?
What is that,
That's
like 6,000 feet?
4,500 feet.
I was gonna say it's like 5,000 to 6,000 feet. I know.
It's literally a mile up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that I really do. You know, you have all the talk about the ancient trees like Devil's Tower and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I really do. I think, like I said, I think that if we literally, enough of us could hold the vision of what that used to look like, I think we could recreate it on this planet.
I got a subliminal program I'm listening to access the Akashic record, because there has to be a record of this.
Oh, it's there. I've seen it. I've had glimpses
Yeah, I
of it.
mean,
I've seen
we got
Atlantis.
the fossilized remains,
We
so
do.
we know it was here.
Oh, absolutely. But you can view it yourself. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
literally go and see it. I mean, there's many places that I used to travel a lot in my astral travels and stuff, and in my Akash, but I didn't even know where they were. Now I'm starting to understand where these places actually are.
It makes me just sometimes think, because we've got, Jake Tolkien's, the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings of Middle Earth.
Yes, and I know
You
all
know,
of us have had to incarnate on inner earth in the 5th dimension to proceed to the darker, deeper levels of the 3rd. So like you can't even get into this 3rd dimension until you've already graduated from 5th. Because this is harder. It's kind of like, you know, this is Harvard. This is like the highest schooling. Yeah, this is,
yeah.
yeah, because you're wiped the most here. It's just, this is a difficult realm. So yeah, you've had to experience 5th dimension to be here, but you could have experienced 5th dimension on Venus. You could have experienced it on Saturn. You could have experienced it on Jupiter. There's other planets that you can experience 5th dimensional existence upon. Mars. So there's more.
Deborah Truex says, but how high was the mini me of the Nephilim?
Right,
About a
right.
knee high to a grasshopper, Deborah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, think about it. It's like, holy crap. I mean, when I read the book, of King Og, people, they couldn't handle it. There were so many people who just can't handle the idea that this earth today is relatively new. And I don't think it's going to stay this way. Again, we talk about geological time, 10,000 years as if it's only what? A day, right?
Right. And then I always go back to too, okay, if the God of this world truly is Yah, Yaldabaoth, the feathered serpent.
Sons of bitches.
Seriously, that means we all come from snake and bird straight
I-
out of the gate.
and you know what? Maybe being a simian isn't so bad. When you think about
Right.
being a damn snake, or a bird, come on.
Yes, it's so, I'm like,
I'm liking the simian idea more and more.
it's so mind blowing because we're starting to realize that everything that we have been taught is a lie.
Yeah.
Every single part of our history, of our evolution as a species, how many species evolutions have we gone through? This is all the same thing happening again. It's like they're trying to transform the body through genetics, modifications, shots, all the stuff, trying to destroy what you are. And it's like all the timelines that I've seen regarding that whole loss of the organic genetics was the biggest, greatest tragedy experienced through the species. So
They say that that's where the whole fallen part of mankind, the whole myth came from, and religions adapted to it. It wasn't that there was any, violation to some god. It was genetic.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very few. And I told you about the friend of mine that was in the FBI. They taught this to him. There's very few real humans on this planet.
Yeah, and
Now,
I
why
think
would
that's
the
why they're
FBI have that in their training?
well, and I think that's why they're doing all the testing. They're trying to identify who's who.
I think you'd be right.
Yeah.
Yes. That's just the conspiracy side of the equation, ladies and
Absolutely. Just
gentlemen.
speculative, completely
Nothing to see,
speculative.
just pass
What
on
if?
by, you know.
Things that make you go,
So I always like to do the hypothetical. By the way, I have the window open. It is right now 73 degrees here.
I'm so jealous. It's like 117 here.
Oh man. I mourn for you, Miss Trina.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna say, so this really does work, folks. If y'all want to have a first lesson in casting spells where the elements obey,
Mhm.
whenever you need a breeze or wind, by the way, of the day, simply say out loud, bars diero, bars diero, bars diero, and you will have a breeze. But be careful how intensely you
Oh,
say that.
yeah. You know what I just heard?
What's that?
Barbello. Barbello. It's the power of Barbello. That's the female first birth essence out of source that held the reflection of all.
Yeah.
Wow. Barbello. That would be a pretty high power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you want to know how to spell that, that is BARS dash D with an apostrophe. So you want to bring out the D dash ORO. Bars Diaro. Bars Diaro. Bars. I ain't going to be saying this because I'm going to walk out and mine, and it works, folks. I'm just telling you, it works. Just be careful.
It's just like we've been taught to worship this God thing, and literally the God power is inside of you, because like when you're invoking the power of the spirit to move the wind, and you know how to do this, you literally have the power to invoke the spirit of the wind.
Yeah.
This is what they don't want us to know.
Now give thanks to her, by the way.
Yes. Well,
Oh,
you
yeah.
better honor the powers that are helping you. Remember I said it's all about cooperation
Yes,
and
ma'am.
gratitude. And, you know, and it's like, how can I serve you? Is there something I can help you with? It's like, this is about, we work together. It's not about worship. It's about cooperation. This is the highest power you will get, is when you're in cooperation, and that's unity. And that is Basto, being in service to
Yeah,
others. And
I think
it's
it is.
working with anything you can, any way that you can. And it truly is how this works. And it's like, I see it, you know, they're trying to, everything that's being done is not working for them, and it's cracking me up. So they're gonna try a little harder, and they're gonna lock us down again. But it's like, we got to keep just keeping this vibration
We
up,
got to, folks. I
because
mean, this is,
guys, it's working. It's working.
so Loretta says D Auro of gold. Oh, isn't that interesting?
It is gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, Oro,
yeah, yeah,
gold.
yeah. Bars Diaro. Deborah, you're absolutely right. It works, folks. I'm just telling you, it
Mhm.
does. I'm just, and speaking of which, we've got to get this thing, because you're right. I'm hearing, the
Mhm.
states are going to be locking down again. I
California got locked down yesterday for 3 months.
folks, we have got to advance on this. And I just want to say,
Mhm.
I know some of you have different opinions. There's some people who had a problem with others, being of service to others before, because they've had a negative experience in the ether of the others, and they said, why would you want to be of service to something that would be meaning you harm? I can understand that.
Yeah.
My response to that would be, well, even if they meant you harm, your example would still, we're talking ascension here, folks. We're not talking competition or battle. At
Right.
least, at least I hope not. On the other side, I have no doubt there is, in fact, more battles and challenges to come. I think so.
Yeah. You
And
know, it's so funny. It's like, I did that project with Ultraviolet where we were trying to, as a group, go to a specific location called Purple Planet. And it was so funny because I knew that a group of us were going to be attempting to go to this planet. And I knew this planet was going to be inhabited, because they all are. So I literally set forth with the intention to be brought forth to the people in charge that I could speak to first of all ask permission to invade their planet with our energy and try to come there and learn these things, you know? And I literally was brought into an auditorium in front of
oh shit.
thousands of beings. And I, yeah, I told them what I wanted to do, and they talked about it. And then they said, yes, you have been permitted. And I said, do you have a place where we can go? And they said, yes. And they directed me to a healing temple, and we started meeting in this temple. So yeah, it's about cooperation, and we need to open up and work with each other, and understand the laws of what is allowed and what isn't. Are you there, Wayne? I think we might have lost Wayne. We'll get him back.
I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, good.
Oh
Okay.
no, I haven't gone anywhere, folks. Literally, I told you I had to be careful with that. Literally, there is a huge thunderstorm, and my dog is not very,
Oh
does not do
no.
well with thunder, and the wind is literally whipping up out there. So
Okay, so how do we
yeah,
calm it down?
well,
Do
well,
we
you
have a
don't.
word
That's
to?
just it. I have it. It's okay, dancer. It's okay.
Oh,
She's right here, and so she comes up to me, and because she just hates the thunder, she just, it's okay. Daddy speaks favorite to you. You want to get on? You want to get on? You want to get on worldwide television? You want to see the camera? Come here. Let's see.
dancer. Hi, dancer.
So there she is.
You're a
Okay.
good girl.
So this is dancer. Dancer. Look
Oh,
at the
do
camera.
you feel
There.
better with daddy? Yes. Oh, it's
Oh
all better with
yeah.
daddy. All better.
Yes. It's okay. It's
You're a
all
good
right,
girl.
baby.
She's so
So,
precious.
you know,
So
you're
smart.
such a pretty girl. Do you know
So
Daddy
smart,
loves you?
dancer. Yeah,
You are a pretty girl.
baby.
Say hello to everybody. Say hi. So
Yeah,
this
baby.
is Dancer, everybody.
Gotta love her.
She is I'll tell you, this this animal, this spirit is actually, Lynn and I were talking about it. she has taught what love really is. I mean, this dog has shown the example of what love actually is. And it tells me that they're on a mission of ascension as well.
Yeah, and some of the animals are very specific with their purpose as they come in as a familiar spirit. So they're one of your spirit guides. That's a familial that you're holding.
Well,
That's a
she
family
is,
guide. Family
yeah.
spirit guide, I guess is the best way. A family guide.
Well, she's full of love. And,
Because I'm going to
you
show
know,
you unconditional love.
she's
That's
like,
what my
oh,
dogs do
daddy.
too. They show that
Yeah.
unconditional love, and they teach you to be present. It
Yes,
gets you
yes.
out of the time. They pull you out of time and they make you actually be present.
When I had that night visitation, she knew she wouldn't leave my side.
Yeah.
She was right there, and she knew that there was something in the room, and she's very intuitive on these things.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
I had a 187-pound Rottweiler.
That's a
Yeah.
big papa dog, huh?
And then when
She's a
I was
good girl.
pregnant, Wayne, she literally 7 days before I gave birth, each time she started sleeping underneath the baby's crib.
How interesting.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it was like she knew that they were coming a week before they came, and she would start getting nervous and she'd start licking herself and she'd start getting all kind of weird and she'd go and sleep under the crib. And it was so funny. I'd bring the babies home and I'd set them down on the ground and she'd just look at them and she'd smell them, give them one lick on their nose, and then she'd just lay right down next to the car seat.
Very.
And if they would cry, she would cry. Like she was so in tune with these children. It was amazing. And they would ride her like a horse and grab her jowls and stretch them out 2 feet wide. And she'd just look at me like, really? She was so wonderful with them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and Lynn's one of her sons they've got two children and babies, and the dogs are like that as well. They are just, yeah, it's like,
my
don't
girlfriend
mess with the
Carla,
babies.
my girlfriend Carla, her two Rottweilers saved her son's life. He was 18 months old and he got out of his crib and fell into the swimming pool while she was back doing laundry and ironing. And Zeus and Athena, Zeus dove to the bottom of the pool while Athena started screaming, a howling like Paula had never heard. Carla
Wow.
had never heard this before. So Carla runs out the back door and she sees Zeus coming up with her son by the diaper. And she grabbed the baby from Zeus. The baby was totally fine. They're in the book of dogs that save people's lives. That one was literally recorded and it was amazing. Yeah, Zeus and Athena
How
saved her
far
baby.
out that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people say cats rule, dogs drool. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Answer
I
doesn't
know the dog
drool.
can save your life. I don't know if the cat can really help you out too much on that one.
Cats are
They can alert people though. They sure can.
cats are kind of cool,
Oh, they're wonderful.
and there's many
Wonderful.
nursing homes that have cats, and the reason why they have cats is that the cat will sense the spirit of death.
Yes.
And they literally go into the rooms and wait for the spirit of death to come and depart.
I think cats, that's why there's the Egyptian. I think they're powerful protectors on a spiritual. I literally think they can kick a demon's butt. So they're like powerful that way. I think that's why there's so much with the cats. And they see spirit and they know they can see differently than we do. I think they're
Yeah.
always have their third eye completely open.
Many people would say that cats are more spiritual. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, now I've heard of dogs, but
Yeah.
dogs are more comforters. It seems
Mhm.
like the cat is there. This is just me to grant passage. I mean, it's just me, but because the Egyptians had that very much, as part of the passage process.
Cats can sense if there's spiritual activity in the house. They know. They literally know. You can watch a cat watching spirit and they can see them. So they are very spiritual. But the dogs see them too.
Yeah, I think so. Someone
Oh
says,
my gosh, yes, they do. My Rottweiler has seen them and yeah, they see them too. But the cats I think see them more.
see, Loretta says, don't cats steal souls? I don't know about that, but um, I know how the wise tale got started is that cats smelled the mother's breast milk,
Mhm.
and many, and I think that that's how it may have started. Who knows? Maybe they did take the breath away. I don't know. You know,
Mm.
everyone's digging this conversation. Cats relay information from elsewhere. Dogs are partners in each life. Deborah, I like that.
I see that true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really
yeah,
do. That's why I
I can
said the
see that.
dogs are more of the familials and the cats are more of the energy spiritual protectors because I really do. The cats are very more fifth dimensional.
Cats, someone says, Pamela says aliens don't like my cats. I can believe that. I've heard that many times that they don't like felines.
I have heard that cats will attack bad energy if it's trying to harm you. I know a couple people that have stated that their cats protected their sleeping babies and stuff from energies and entities. Hmm.
I
And
had
I
a
believe,
I had
I
a great
believe
cat
it.
called Tuxedo, and he looked like he was a tuxedo. That
Mhm.
was that cat, I swear, was a familiar almost. I mean, it was like it really could sense things, and
Yep.
it, yeah, yeah, it's
They're profound. That's why I
they
said I
are.
think that the animal kingdom is one of our greatest, God, is greatest gifts. Wow. The
Hello, Daddy.
animals in our lives are so important and they're so precious.
They're talking about you. They
Yeah,
think you're a
Dancer.
pretty girl.
Talking
Are
about you.
you a pretty girl? Yes, you are. Do you want some cheese? Like, hey, are you talking food?
She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're special.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
and
are.
like I said, I really think we're going to be able to hear them more. And nature is starting to come to those of us who are in a different vibration. And that's why I think that hummingbird literally landed on me. It was
Yeah.
telling me, I need help. I'm sticky. My wings are stuck. Can you help me out here? And I was, because it kept trying to fly in the fountain, but it couldn't fly fast enough to stay up. So I had to help it out. And it, for whatever reason, it knew I could help it.
No, I tell you what it thought.
What?
Aren't you a god? You're supposed to be able to help me.
And I did.
You did heal. You healed her. You healed it. You cleared the element of what it was. You did exactly what a god was supposed to do.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, how can I
Yeah.
help you? You know?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Fosto, be
Yeah.
of service.
Yeah.
It'll show up in so many unique ways. And like I said, I really enjoyed hanging out with that hummingbird. That was
I
really
think that's cool.
it
Watch
was
this. Mama's gonna come. She's like, Mama,
cool. Mama.
Mama's coming home. What?
Yes.
Because that typically means food for her, you know.
Aw.
Uh, well,
I
Miss
love
Trina, this was a great time. I mean, up until the thunder. So, folks, watch that. I mean, I watched. You can go back and you can see some of the comments. People did that. It does work. It does work.
yeah, it does. A friend of mine too, he works with orgone type energies. And a few years ago, like many years ago, about 20 years ago, we were in a serious drought and we had lots of fires going on and they called forth rain and they used that and they flooded Scottsdale. It was bad. It was bad. It was really, really, really bad.
See, that's
Bad,
one of
bad.
those things where good intent,
Yeah,
equals bad
yeah,
results.
it was the worst flooding we'd had in over 70 years. It was bad. So yeah, you got to be
Oh,
careful with this stuff, guys, because it's real. It really is. So really, God, be careful.
oh, that mystery. That's as funny. It's like,
Oh, it sucks for Scottsdale. Literally, yeah, it was.
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
this, and I found out they were like, yeah, we did that. I was like, you did that? Oh, guys, whoa.
That's like
Yeah,
you
that
want to
was.
go.
I mean, that was
Hmm.
newsworthy for 5 days in a row. It was so bad.
So, well, Miss Trina, take us out, and as she does have a
Oh,
thunder jacket, by the way, folks. It's just I
aw. Oh,
wasn't
that's
expecting
precious.
her to be in
Well,
here.
let's all just send a little calm to Wayne's skies and
Oh,
say thank you for the
Steve,
confirmation. But
yes,
now it's time to be gentle.
groovy.
Let's calm the storms throughout the entire world and see that our energy is like a soothing balm, an anointing of peace. And stay positive, guys, because we're starting to learn how to manifest, and that's why the vibration, it's they can't make it drop. So when things come at you, just shine brighter, because it's working. It's seriously working, just like Wayne just manifested above his head. This is the power that we truly do have. And now
Yes.
that we're waking up to it, guys, I hate to say it, with the sweets comes the sours. So it's game on.
I love it. Game on, Wayne's World.
Yes, yes, yes. Be the frequency you want to receive. Be Bosto. This is how we
Boston.
win. This is how we
Game
win.
on, Garth.
Yeah, that's how we win.
Oh, Trina, so love you. Thank you. This is
I love
great.
you
So,
too.
everyone, y'all are just so. Thank you for being here. It's this is a
So
great
much
group.
gratitude.
Yeah, we love you, and we will see you tomorrow. And Trina, when are you going to be on live?
I have been working so hard. My daughter had her 21st birthday. It's
Ah,
been like one thing after another. And then with Brian, and it's just been like, I had my back
yeah,
went down. Funny enough, the day before I knew Brian passed away, I literally was on the floor with my back hurting. It was like my support system, my structure was blown out, and showed up in my physical body first. Then as
yeah.
soon as I found out what was going on, my back was amazingly just completely better. It's just been like one thing after another, though. So yeah,
All right.
but yes, things are starting to simmer down.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see everyone tomorrow. Much love. Suji will be on Friday, so really looking forward to that.
Yay.
I haven't seen her in a long time, so
Love Suji.
yeah, she's far out. All right, Trina,
She
stay
was
with
my
me.
messenger that day, Wayne.
Yeah, yeah.
She was my
She's really
messenger.
close to this group.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We love y'all. We'll see y'all later on. Bye bye.